Hey guys, so I'm back with another Epic 7 video. So today I want to go over some changes I think that should be made to Epic 7 that would vastly improve the player experience. I've been playing this game for 3 years and I've played just a ton of other gacha games, console games, etc. I've been playing games my entire life. So there's a lot of features in games that Epic 7 doesn't have and I think would actually improve the player experience in this game. So I want to briefly touch on removal of the equipment costs to unequipped gear. This discussion could potentially be hours long, going over everything. I will say I think every weekend should be a free unequip, just because there's no guild wars, so it doesn't impact any of that PvP, and it doesn't impact RTA either, because you cannot change your gear once you enter an RTA match. Your gear is set. So I don't think having free and equip each weekend, it would disrupt the game at all. I think that's a change that could be made. So the next thing I want to talk about is regarding equipment as well. You know, one of the best additions they've ever made in this game was this thing, where we can just look for the set and, you know, put something on them. We look for what we want, you know, we want speed or whatever, and we put it on them. You know, before that edition, we used to just have to click on the slot and then just look for a piece of gear, and we had to remember what it was in order to try to see what was better. So this was one of the best additions they've made to the game. However, I think, and this is very true for when doing Abyss and so forth, a lot of times I take the best gear off of my units and swap it to another character. Like if I want to use, you know, I decide I want to use Judge Kisei or something for Abyss and she's on scuffed gear. I have her on scuffed gear, but I need to power her up. And I just go, you know what? The easiest way I can power her up is to just take RB's gear. Now, in order to do that, I have to look for RB here, okay. And then I have to search for him here. And I have to search for him again. That's cumbersome, especially when I'm doing a one-to-one transfer. I'm just transferring all of RB's gear to a unit. There's no reason for me to have to search through this, like a Where's Waldo book, just to pick up all of the gear to transfer it for a one-to-one transfer. They need to allow you to click on a button either on this screen or on this screen and just put transfer RB's gear to Judge Kisei or whatever unit you're trying to transfer the gear to. I do that a lot for Abyss. A lot of people do that for Abyss. You know, I leave my Curious like this because I've used her a couple of times in Abyss, not extensively. I think I used her for 1 or 2 floors. But usually I just take my Oxlot's gear. Which is why, if I got to click on a button and say transfer Oxlot's gear to Curious, now it just gets transferred here. And then, when I'm done, I transfer it back. Which brings me to my next point. They need to allow you to save the loadouts on units. I need to be able to lock this gear to my RB, and I don't mean like this. I mean I save the loadout. It saves all of the gear to RB. So if I take any of these pieces away from him and move it somewhere else temporarily to do Abyss because I'm testing a new unit to see if they work well or not, for any of that kind of stuff where people are moving their gear around for a temporary thing. Doing some of the Dagger Sakar things. Those kind of, you know, quests or whatever that you're doing that are temporary. You need to be able to click on the saved loadout and then you save the gear. So I don't have to remember this. I don't have to take screenshots of this. I don't have to take screenshots of the gear. Take a screenshot of this and like remember how much stats he had exactly and whatever, which is what I do, which is what most people do. We take a screenshot so it's saved and we can put the gear back. But afterward, after moving a ton of gear around, that just causes a ton of problems because now you don't just have one. You don't just have RB messed up. You have a bunch of other characters messed up, especially if you're taking a piece here and a piece from there and a piece from another person. Then you have to remember who you took all that gear from and put it back, which I usually take a screenshot in here because then it'll remember, like, it will remember all of the different units you stole gear from. So when you take a screenshot of it, it remembered, you can remember and you go, oh, this came from Deanne, this came from Ken, this came from this, like, then you remember that. But you have to take a screenshot of it. Then your phone has all of these screenshots. You have all these worthless screenshots for no reason when the game could simply have a save button that saves all of his gear. So if I move it away to someone else, I put to load the gear loadout, and it puts his gear back on him. And then you just go to the other characters that you changed. Like if I change it to Judge Kise and I'm like, you know what, I want her to be with this crappy gear again. I put the loadout on her to fix it in a streamlined fashion instead of spending hours trying to put everything back. Both of the equipment things that I've said here, having a save loadout and being able to swap from one character to another, where you just transfer the gear from one character to another, that would exponentially make doing things like Abyss and setting up teams for expeditions or doing the Dagger Sakar, those kind of things, Hall of Trials, any of those things way easier, and it'll allow you to put the gear back quicker than needing to go through and saving a bunch of screenshots that you now have to go through just to put everything back. And it taking hours to put everything back. Which you have to do because of Guild Wars. Everything has to be fixed before that point. And before free and equip goes away. Which is when everyone typically does that. So those are all the main points I want to go over today. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.